Just wait for a minute. There is a technical issue. Okay, now it is solved. So the next objective, if you need to consider, then it is to enumerate the important genera of microorganisms associated with food. For example, if you want to get a conversion of a specific food raw material into the processed food material, then you are using a specific microorganism. But there is always a need for this typical research, that a typical or a specific microorganism that is required. So that thirst of microorganism is always there. And there is the need for you people that you can come with a novel microorganism, so that the typical thing or the typical process, it will be fulfilled, and the output, it will be in the upper side. That means it must be an economic one, it must be a cheap one, because what you are dealing is an industry, and the very first thing, whatever the industry is required, that is nothing but to make money. So the cheap processes, they are always required. For that purpose, the efficient microorganisms, they are always in demand. And next is to specify normal microflora of some common foods. We know that if we are consuming any type of antibiotic which inhibits the, or which restricts or which kills the stomach or the gut microflora, then the doctor, he or she will prescribe you with some other tablets like sporolac, it may be given, or some yeast sachets, they may be given to you people. Why? In order to replenish the microflora. So this replenishment of this microflora, for that purpose also you must know what are the other food factors which also can replenish. So if you consider the curd is also a probiotic, or if you consider Yakult, like other preparations, or buttermilk, if you consider, then they are considered to be a very novel and good source for normal microflora. And with the consumption of these food items, you will be able to regain all the good bacteria which must be present in your gut in order to achieve a normal absorptive pattern. Okay, so that is the thing which you need to consider. So these are the different objectives of your syllabus. Now, what are the different applied viewpoints of microbiology? There are different applications you can consider that of the microbiology, like medicinal microbiology or medical microbiology, which includes pathology as well. Then there are some microorganisms which are helpful in case of agriculture. So that is another way you can consider. Then industrial microbiology, it is a very huge consideration you have to consider, because it encompasses different fields like leather industry, tanning industry is there, dyeing industry is there, then decontamination industry is there, effluent analysis is there. So this is also a huge type of industry, and ultimately what we are discussing now is about food microbiology. That is the food industry and the microbiology related to that. So all these applied aspects, if you need to consider, food microbiology or food industry is a huge or second most growing industry you can consider in the industrialization. And all the food microbiology industry, they are either requiring the microbial knowledge in terms of the fermentation or the food processing, or in terms of food spillage. So either or you need to consider that the microbiological study, it is very important in the industry related to food. Now, what exactly you consider as a food? Food is a substance consisting essentially of protein, carbohydrate, fat, and other nutrients used in the body of an organism to sustain growth and vital procedures and to furnish energy. So this is the basic requirement of any individual, the basic need of any individual, that the food he or she has to consume. What is the composition of this food? Yes, kindly switch on your camera so that you all will be visible to me. Have you switched on your cameras in the first lecture? Yes. Yes, Sachin, Sapna, Vaishnavi, Kiran, Satyendra, Swati. Switch on your cameras. Okay, let me see to whom I am teaching. Okay. So we are just discussing today the syllabus and what are the aspects you need to study in your syllabus. So from the next lecture, we will be starting with the actual headings of syllabus. But prior to that, I just want to tell you that this is a descriptive subject. You have to write a lot in the answer sheets of this typical examination. Okay. And that is the thing, or that is the way. So that's why I'm telling a lot of things all about your syllabus to you people. So returning to the PPT or the slide on this typical PPT, food you consider it is the substance which is composed of protein, carbohydrates, fats, micronutrients, and micronutrients. So all these micro as well as micronutrients you consider, they are important in case of consumption. Why consumption is necessary? Consumption is necessary to get the energy from it. The energy it is used in two terms, that is to sustain the growth and to do the vital processes. Prerna, get yourself muted. Prerna, a lot of noise it is coming from your side. Okay. So plants which convert solar energy to food by photosynthesis, and all of us, we are the heterotrophs, so we consume plants and plant-based animals as well as the form of food. So it is important that we must know what is our position, and we also must know what is the position of our food microorganisms in this typical food chain. Now coming to the next thing, that is food microbiology. So it's the origin and scope of the food microbiology. So again concerning with food microbiology, the microbiology it is considered in two important aspects. Production and processing of food is the first aspect, whereas food spoilage is the other aspect. So if you consider food spoilage, the methods of preservation and food fermentation, these are considered to be the vital fields or the polars you can consider of the food microbiology. So chronologically, if you consider, then there is a huge history you have to jot down related to this typical aspect. So if you consider the history and development, different scientists like initially the pre-scientific era, you have different civilizations like Babylonian civilization, then you have Sumerians, you have uh, Egyptians, you have Chinese and Greeks, even you have the Indian state of or the Indian courtesy of food production and preparation. So all these humans or the ancient people you can consider, they also belong their own strategies and moves to produce the food. So by knowingly or unknowingly, they use n number of bacteria to improve the flavor, to improve the food nutrition, to improve the texture of the typical food. And with all this, we will be discussing the food microbiology in the historical part when we will be considering the first unit of your syllabus. Okay. So again, with that, the food microbiology it has to also deal with the origin of life concept. That means the different scientists which have considered the different theories, they have put forth different theories like spontaneous generation theory they have given. Then comes the non-spontaneous generation theory. So depending upon that, we have to consider a small section of pre-scientific and scientific era for the application of microbiology in the field of food microbiology, and this will be done in the first lecture itself, that means the first unit. So these are the different ways how you will be able to consider the food microbiologist. Where are the important questions the food microbiologist can arose. Okay. So the PPT, is it clearly visible to all of you? Yes, speak out, or you may write it in the chat box as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the topics, the food microbiologist, it has got interest these topics they are first is food fermentation. So all the fermented foods, the governance of food microbiologist is a must for food fermentation. Then to determine the water quality, whatever the water the industry is using to produce the food atom, that must be monitored stringently, because any impurity, any toxic substance, any microbial contamination in this water may lead to the failure of a complete batch, and that's why it is very important over here. Then comes the food preservation. Food preservation is another section than that of the food production. Whatever the food you have prepared, that must be reached to the consumer, and this reaching or the in between time slot, if you consider that, for that time slot the food it must be preserved. Okay. So this food preservation is an important thing. Next is the food spoilage. If improperly food is stored, if it is not served as per it must be served, then food may show you the spoilage. Then the food whatever you are providing to the customer, the food, it must pass some quality control test. So that is also an important task a food microbiologist has to perform. And next is the foodborne disease. If you are concerned with the social and government agency which deals with the social health, then this foodborne disease and the complete spectra of this foodborne disease, prevalence of this foodborne disease, vigilance of this foodborne disease, you have to consider as a food microbiologist. Then comes food hygiene. Whatever the food the society consuming, that must be in a hygienic form. So that is a moral responsibility of a food microbiologist to consider the hygiene of a food. And then laboratory management. This is nowadays a very upcoming era with which a food microbiologist can deal. So this for this laboratory management, Government of India, it is giving a number of schemes like mobile vans you can produce, and you will be getting the input from monetary terms as well in from the Government of India, so that you can set up your own laboratory, and you may get interest and you may get enter in the laboratory testing management as well. Okay. So these are the different topics with which you can go, you can come in the market, and you can deal all these aspects if you know properly what exactly the food microbiology is and what are the responsibilities of a food microbiologist. Now, this all things they are just related to your to your topic, that is food microbiology. Okay, food along with the dairy microbiology, because a huge part of food microbiology, it is nothing but the dairy microbiology. So the consideration about industrial food and dairy microbiology, about the name of your syllabus, we have discussed a lot about. Okay. Now onwards, we will be discussing different headings which are being given in your syllabus. So the first unit you have to consider it in terms of industrial food fermentation. Like again, food and fermentation, these two things they are different, but not all foods are fermented, but all fermentations they are also not food in the concern. So these are the two variable individual complete branches, and you have club up the two branches in order to get some variety of food atoms, but this sum number is also a huge one. So can you enlist different fermented foods which we consume in the day-to-day meals? Yes, get yourself unmute and switch on your cameras. Yes, Sapna,
Ma'am,
Prerna.
curd, cheese,
Okay, curd, cheese again.
bread,
Yes, bread. Okay, Azun. Yes, Sapna, you want to say something?
all the bakery products.
All the bakery products. Very good. Yes, Sapna. Yes, someone else. Where are you all people? Yes, come on. Satyendra. Yes, ma'am. What about yes? Give some examples of fermented food
Beha-
products.
beverages.
Beverages. So Prerna has given n number of examples. Can anybody else give any other example which Prerna has not given?
Yes,
Satyendra,
ma'am.
you are not. Yes, give me an example, Satyendra.
Alcohols.
Okay, so that is a part and parcel of beverages, but you yes, no doubt, alcohol is a fermented product. Yes, Ankita, Kiran, can you give me some example related to fermented food? Yes, come on. Anyone amongst you can you can give the example.
Fermented meat. Fermented meat.
Okay, fermented. Yes, yes, yes. This is another example you have given. Something again more than that.
Fermented vegetables.
Fermented vegetables. Okay, Azun. So what this fermented vegetable is called as? Do you know?
Mushrooms.
Yes. Pardon.
Mush-
Okay. So we have got a lot of examples for fermented foods. Now we have to study all these fermented foods one by one. So depending upon the geographical configuration, we can consider fermented foods as Oriental fermented foods, then Western fermented food, then Asiatic, Chinese, Japanese. Okay. So depending upon the geographical area, you will be able to classify all these fermented foods. We have to classify all of them in different groups, like, and then we'll be discussing by one in the unit number 1. So so for the another thing, you need to consider that what are the important syllabus headings you have to consider. The very first syllabus heading is your Oriental fermented foods. So what are this Oriental? What this Oriental word literally it means? Do you know? Yes. Now Samadhan, Kiran, Sachin will give me the answer. What do you know what exactly this Oriental word is meaning? Yes. Anyone else? Oriental means Eastern. If you in a literally word meaning, if you consider, then Oriental is nothing but Eastern. So this Oriental fermented food, if you consider the three examples we have to consider, like soya sauce, natto, and miso. What is this soya sauce? This is a favorite food item if you consume Chinese food in a routine manner. So it is a liquid you can consider, and it is a Chinese origin food material. Traditionally, it is made up of soya bean. So it is called as soya sauce. It is also called as soy or soya in American English. Uh, the process, if you consider, then that is a roasted grain or brine, and bacteria or the fungi, if you consider, microorganism you consider, then that is a Aspergillus oryzae or Aspergillus soji. So depending upon the type of species you have used in order to get the soya sauce from the soya bean, that means the fermentation you have to carry out over here, and the variety and the taste and the astringent nature of the soya sauce, that is variable. Next is natto. It is a traditional Japanese food made from soybeans again, and that have been fermented with Bacillus species. So natto is the Bacillus subtilis variety with which it is fermented basically. And third is the miso. So it is also a traditional Japanese seasoning. It is produced by fermenting again soybean with the salt and koji. That is the Aspergillus oryzae. Another name for Aspergillus oryzae is koji. So sometimes rice is used as base, sometimes barley or some seaweeds, they are also used in this aspect. So this is the way you can consider the appearance of whatever the food material we have discussed right now. This is the soya sauce. This is the natto. So this is the bacillus fermented food, or the soya beans which are being considered, and this is the miso. So the koji, that is the Aspergillus species, that is being allowed to ferment the soybean paste, and then whatever is the output is considered as miso. We have to consider all the procedures to produce the soya sauce, then natto, then miso, and we have to again consider all the productional errors, possible errors, and we have to also consider the quality control steps for the industrial production of these Oriental food or the Oriental fermented food items. Then comes the cereal products. All whatever I have written over here, they are more familiar to all of us. We have eaten all these things a lot in our lifetime. So the very first is idli, or whatever the all idli like fermented foods you can consider. So it is nothing but a rice cake. Okay. So you have to study a lot about idli, how to ferment the idli batter, what are the variables you can use to ferment this idli batter, what are the accelerators for getting more fermented batter. So all these aspects we have to consider. Then comes dokla and khaman. So the material of construction, that is variable only in these two cases. Then comes papadam. So it is a regular papad or a masala papad which you consume in any hotel if you visit over there. And last is jalebi. So jalebi is also a type of fermented food, and we have to also consider how the steps we have to carry out while production of this jalebi or jalbi. So these are the food items you will be able to see. This is idli, this is khaman or dhokla, whatever the material of construction you are using, that will give you the difference. Then this is the papadam, and this is the jalebi. Next is the fermented cassia flour. Just wait.